Welcome to the Your Brother podcast. I'm your host, Dan Smith. Alongside me, as always, my brother from the same mother, Mike Smith.
We're back, Dan.
Mike, we're back. We're going to talk about Superman 2025, James Gunn's Superman, that is, which we've been talking about on the podcast for quite some time.
Mhm.
And, we came off of our last episode, depending on when you're watching this, but our most recent episode was this real deep conversation about the state of the box office. And it was funny because one of the things that we ended up getting into in that conversation was this whole thing about what do they call the bike again?
Collectible concession vessels.
Collectible concession vessels, which Mike is, of course, holding up the Oh Brother collectible concession vessel, which you
And
can.
we don't do commercials, but
No,
if you subscribe, you can get one of these beautiful vessels, $53.99.
50, which is a
A
steal.
bargain.
As CCVs go, and folks
Yeah.
that are in the know that is a steal, absolutely. But
Comes with Orville Redenbacher. So
or
you
it
pop it when you want.
comes with a free pack of Orville
Yeah.
Redenbacher for those that know the Redenbachers. It's funny because when I walked into the theater, now you saw this on preview night, which was July 10th, 2025.
Yeah, I was at the first showing at 2:00.
Yeah, and I saw it a couple days later, which was last night as we're recording this, July 12th, 2025. So almost back-to-back viewings. But when I walked into the theater, I was looking for the Superman vessel, the popcorn vessel, which
Right,
I
and
didn't see. My eye caught this advertisement on this kind of sandwich board that was written out, and it had this bucket, and it was like, well, it turns out it was a drink of some kind, which it said the super flight or the Superman flight or something. I forget what hero flight is what it was called.
see,
And
you don't go to like a chain place.
well, it is a chain, but not. There's only
But
one.
not like AMC,
Correct.
Regal, those are the big CCV people.
Right. Exactly. But I couldn't find it, so I see this hero flight, and I'm thinking it's a flight of beers, right? You get a flight of whiskey, you get a flight of beers, and you can
Right.
taste test these different, sample different beers and so forth. That's
Hmm.
not what it was. It was like just some big drink in a bucket or something. So I passed on that, but I was bummed out because, didn't see any of the buckets there. As you say, it's probably because of the chain that I go to. But these people that are paying, 53 something dollars, Mike, for popcorn vessels, I mean, it's
83.
it's crazy the people
Oh
that
my
do that.
God, he
I
did it.
mean, when you think about spending your hard-earned money on something so frivolous, right? I mean, it kind of boggles the mind when you think about it.
I mean, the Galactus one, which you showed on our Instagram site, is 85 and change after tax.
Yeah, I'm holding up the Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon. I actually
Okay.
got this at Epic Universe is where I got this baby. You can see it lights up, it glows in the dark. Anyway,
I
okay.
figured you didn't get it at the theater.
Okay, enough of the bits, folks.
But yeah, let me before we get into the movie, which is
Yeah,
Superman, and we
right.
have a lot to say.
Yes.
I approached my theater experience different this time because of our conversation of these popcorn vessels. Instead of going to my seat, I sat and waited, and I wanted to see how many people
We're coming with
were
the vessels
buying these things.
because you can move around in your seats, right? They're not.
No, I have
Oh,
to pick it when I get there.
okay.
So I thought, I don't need the previews. I don't need that 20 minutes. I can save that part of my, but I wanted to see how many, I would say 8 out of 10, right? We're carrying this big, I went to AMC. So
Mhm.
and there's videos on YouTube to covering all 4 major
Mhm.
vessels. And this one guy, I have to point, had it under his left arm and it had a cup with it. And it was
Yeah.
like a newspaper stand, like the old school where you put in a quarter and pull it
Right, right,
out.
right. Yeah.
That's what it looks like. But it's big.
Right.
The guy had the popcorn in a bag over his shoulder like he was Santa Claus. I saw a couple people throw the popcorn in the trash.
Uh-huh.
So people are insane over these. Yeah, there's the one from, I think, Regal.
Mhm.
Shows like a normal popcorn popper at the movie theater with Superman using his X-ray vision to heat up the seeds so they pop.
Right.
I mean, go on Reddit and do a popcorn vessel search, and
Mhm.
there's one guy, he's only been collecting them since 2024. He has an entire
Wow.
room.
Wow.
Oh, every wall is covered. The floor is
Mhm.
covered. I'm like,
Quick
"What are you
question.
doing?"
Single or divorced? Just curious, asking for a friend.
You know, I I don't know, but I
Yeah.
think if he's married, he's probably heading to be single, but,
Right, right.
I mean, you give up a room in your house? Now, like, people will say, "You're a hypocrite, Mike. Look at you at the movies." I can watch these.
Yeah.
I watch something every night.
Again, it's the collector state of mind, but that is not what we're here to talk about. So
No.
let's not go off on a 10-minute rant on popcorn
Right,
vessels. Again,
right.
we did that go
See our last episode.
watch the box office blues episode. Tonight we're talking about Superman. And this is, of course, as we said, James Gunn. Now, we did a first look on this a while back, and we've been on various episodes since that time. We've been kind of commenting on it because it seemed like every week a trailer was coming out.
And,
And
you
we,
know, I don't think any movie has seen more trailers in history
yeah,
than this one. And we
mhm,
could have done a weekly episode
right.
on first looks, just following every we could have done 5, 10 episodes, which
Hmm.
other channels much larger than us have done.
Yeah. Now, I want to preface this whole conversation, okay, because I've known you quite a while,
Yeah.
most of my life.
Yeah,
And
pretty much.
yeah, and I feel somewhat in tune, that we kind of have that connection in that way. And this is one where I'm going to go out on a limb and say we're pretty much on the same page. I'm going to throw that out there at first, but I want to preface the conversation by saying this. Despite whatever I say during this conversation, okay? I don't care about the comic universe. I
Right,
don't care about the comic book history. I don't
right.
care about any of that. Just like I didn't when the Ahsoka series came out, and I didn't want to go and watch, 19 Star Wars animated streaming series to figure out what the hell was going on in Ahsoka. Okay. I
Same with
don't need that.
Marvel, right?
Same with Marvel.
Marvel, the TV shows,
Right.
you didn't watch the Time one, whatever the hell that was called. I did, I forget what it's called, with Owen Wilson.
There's gonna be a lot of people, Mike, that are gonna come out and rail and say, "Well, you don't know," and this, that, and the
Right.
other thing. We're talking about the film.
We're
So
talking
this
about the movie,
talking about the movie.
and my Superman goes back to this guy,
Yes,
George
George
Reeves,
Reeves.
okay? The original. Not,
Right.
yeah, there was serials. I don't know if you ever remember serials. You might be too young for that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But there used to be serials, but this was the first Superman,
Mhm.
right? And
Yeah,
and I loved it. It was black and white, and then it eventually became color.
right.
Then Richard Donner sets the bar
Mhm.
with Superman and Christopher Reeve, right? That set the bar for Superman movies, for comic movies. Tim Burton was equal to the challenge with the two best IPs in superhero industry, which is Superman, Batman. Chris
Right.
Nolan made a seminal. The Dark Knight is one of the best ever done.
Mhm.
So now we get flops after Donner. And if you haven't seen the Richard Donner Superman 2 cut,
Mhm.
it's really good. It's 30% lacking in his stuff, but he does a commentary and points out
Okay,
this
but
isn't
you
me.
say flops. What are you talking about?
I'm talking 3 and 4.
Oh,
Superman
right,
3 and 4 were
right.
garbage.
And Christopher Reeve even came out
Right,
later and said, doing it for the money, whatever. His heart wasn't in it, whatever. So
right.
But so again, I just want to state that up front, right? Because I know that's going to be a lot of people's go-to who are fans of the film. They're going to say, "Well, you don't know, you're not, deeply versed in the comic lore and all of that."
And
Don't
let me
care.
add to that with James Gunn, okay? I like Guardians of the Galaxy. The
Mhm,
first 2 I think were really good. The 3rd one I thought was a little too dramatic,
mhm.
which ironically is the opposite with this film, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
And we both like Peacekeeper, right, with
Yes,
John Cena, and
which
that's kinda goofy and
relevant to
stupid,
the conversation.
makes an appearance.
Makes an appearance.
So we're not James Gunn haters either.
No, but I this is what the Daily Bugle headline should read today, Mike. James Gunn kills Superman. This was and I'm gonna put it out there, so I'm gonna give you a license here. This was one of the biggest pieces of shit that I've seen in a long time. It's gotta be in my top 5. Now, I've told you, I've only almost walked out of maybe 2 movies in my entire life, and one of those was
Right.
Cameron Crowe's Almost Famous, which a lot of people love. You like that film.
Yeah.
I hated it. This was another one. If it wasn't for the podcast, because I said to myself, I'm not gonna get on here and talk about the film and then say I walked out on it and hadn't seen the
Right.
whole thing through. I saw the post credits. I
Right.
talked to the guy cleaning up the floor after. Like I was there till the end. So, but this movie is so bad. There's nothing redeeming about it whatsoever. The CGI is bad, the acting is bad, the script was terrible,
Yeah.
and written and directed by James Gunn. So you say we're not James Gunn haters, but this doesn't
This
make me a big
well,
fan.
Suicide was a piece of crap,
That was a piece of dung.
and
Yes,
this
it
is
was.
right up there. I mean, I didn't hate it as much as you.
Oh,
I'll
oh
be
my
honest.
goodness
There's a
gracious,
couple of
folks.
redeeming things about it,
Oh boy, I can't wait to hear what those are.
and I didn't like Brandon Roth, his
Ralph,
Superman. Yeah.
Brandon
I
Routh.
didn't like that iteration.
And this version makes that version look even better. Now,
I
I've been a fan of Superman
Right.
Returns for a long time. Not that it's a great or my favorite Superman film, but it's a decent Superman film.
But that's the category I put this in, where it's dull, right? First thing, if like you said, you almost walked out, I would have gone in and watched it again with a stop timer to see how much time Superman was on screen. And I'm
Mm,
guessing it's less than half the film
mhm.
because there's so many ancillary characters that he's paying homage to that we don't know. Who the hell is Mr. Terrific? I don't
Again,
know him. I don't wanna know him.
that's gonna be a comic reference, right? And he
And James Gunn was successful with Guardians. He introduced 5 new characters into the MCU
yeah.
at a time where that usually didn't work.
There's this thing too with Superman. The guys that have played him previously, Cavill was able to do it. Christopher Reeve was able to do it. Is this very subtle? It's very nuanced in the way that they make you believe that transition from Clark to Superman. Like Christopher Reeve was a master at it. The way he could just when he removed the glasses, when he reveals him when he's about, I think, to reveal himself to Lois.
Yeah.
And was that Superman 2, I think? It,
I
it
think it was
it's
in both.
it's so masterful the way he does it. But
Yes.
David Corn Sweat is neither a good Superman nor a good Clark Kent. He's
Well,
just
we
not. He's
barely
just not.
he has 2 sequences as Clark Kent. One we already saw
Yeah.
in the trailer, right? With because
Mhm.
we're plopped into we get no backstory, which I don't care. We don't need the
No, I don't care.
backstory. We
No, I
know
don't
it.
care. Right.
But we're plopped into the 3-month anniversary of them dating. Okay, so she already knows he's Superman. There's no secret to be
Yeah.
had. And
Which I
when
don't
I was
like. I
watching
don't
that
like.
scene and he starts getting kind of angry and upset with Lois, I'm like, "Okay, Superman 2, domestic violence." That's
Right.
all I like
But
he did
but
everything but backhand her.
that was horrible acting, though.
It was
I didn't buy
terrible.
that for a second. It was horrible,
There
and
was
I'm
that
just
sequence and then one very short sequence at the
mhm.
Daily Planet with I would say a cameo by, the editor, the guy chomping the cigar,
Yeah, so,
Perry
by the way,
White.
Wendell Pierce, who I like, he's great in a lot of things. He was in, Jack Ryan, which I've been trying to get you to watch, and he plays Perry White, and he's in it for, like, 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
And there's so much goofy stuff that anything dramatic is canceled out. Like, what is Godzilla doing in this film? Why all of a sudden does baby Godzilla, who grows up at a rate of, 10 feet per hour,
Mhm.
what is he doing in this film?
Yeah.
Other than
You're talking
taking
about
our attention away
you're
from.
you're talking about Metamorpho's baby? Joey? Baby Joey?
Was that baby Joey that became Godzilla?
Oh, no. Okay, you're talking about that okay, you're
I'm
talking about
talking
that
about the
thing that
legit Godzilla in the room.
right, right, right.
What the.
No, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. You know, there was cursing in the film. There was just the humor was terrible. Again, I hated it. It's terrible. And I said, okay, by the weekend it's going to make over 200 million, which it has so far.
Right, and I called a billion
But
way long ago,
yeah, but I can't wait to see
the
what
second week.
we're looking at second week.
Jurassic
IMDb,
Park, which did a lot open, had a 3, it started on Wednesday,
yeah,
dropped
yeah.
70%
There
because
you
it
go.
sucks. It's
But I don't know
terrible.
that that's gonna happen with Superman. It should. It deserves to, but the IMDb Metascore here is 68, which is being generous, and I think the critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, which is 82 currently, I think it's dropping, but the audience, 93%, bunch of popcorn eaters. Okay, so Mike, Clark's dad wasn't apparently taken away in a dramatic sequence and by a twister. He died from diabetes, apparently. Like, who is Ma and Pa Kent? Are you shitting me with
Ma
that cast
Kent,
of characters?
that was the worst Ma
Hey,
Kent.
honey, we're glad to know that you're doing okay. I mean,
She was
what in the hell
unwatchable,
was that?
terrible, and Bradley
Oh my
Cooper, worst Jor-El ever.
Bradley Cooper as Jarrell was ridiculous. So, okay, so here's his parents. So, you got Bradley Cooper as Jarrell, and then Lara, played by the girl from Westworld. Like,
Eh,
she's got the cachet to
I
be
didn't even catch who it was.
which
It
I
it
know
was
that's not as prominent a figure, but it
right,
is
it's a
his
short
mother.
sequence,
It's
but
his
it's a
mother.
dumb one, and he was just
The Bradley Cooper was like, that's friend casting by James Gunn. I mean,
correct.
it was so goofy, and
We
I'm sitting
know.
thinking we're stuck with these people for the next however many films
Right.
I guess is gonna squeeze out of this thing, which is, I think, a travesty, but
Like Nathan Fillion has been in like 7 of his films.
mhm,
And we know that actors that work for him like him. He got fired from Guardians of the Galaxy 3 for all sorts of inappropriate tweets that the
mhm.
Washington Post unsurfaced. The cast refused to work.
Yeah, they came to
And
his aid.
and they came to his aid. So we
Mhm.
know people like, and he's stealing people from the MCU. I don't
Okay,
care.
okay, spoiler alert. There's one of these Superman versus himself kinda situations going. I didn't know Bucky Barnes was gonna be in this film. You should have told me. I mean, so it's Captain America meets Superman?
Right. It was the same sequence. It was a rip-off
It
sequence.
looked like Bucky Barnes. He
Yeah.
looked exactly like Bucky Barnes.
And ironically, I liked him looking like that better than he looked as
Right.
Clark Kent.
With the hair. Yeah, exactly. Okay, can we talk about Miss Tessmacher for a second, who was a
Doesn't get
great
acknowledged really as Miss Tessmacher.
not really, but a great character in the original, Donner films.
This was such a ridiculous plot use
Yes.
that she's so dumb, yet so smart that she's taking selfies of all Lex Luthor. That was another huge disappointment. I remember saying to you, I think Nicholas
Wow.
Holt will at least pull off Lex Luthor.
We did not.
He was in it much more than I expected.
He was terrible.
and he was just dull,
He was terrible. He
just
was terrible.
dull.
And the Metamorpho character played by Anthony Carrigan, who we liked in Barry, the Bill Hader series
Right.
on HBO, he played that Metamorpho character. That was ridiculous. This whole Portal storyline was ridiculous.
It was again, this is where the stupidity comes in, like,
Right,
Lex creates this portal where he can go in and out of worlds. Like, what's
right.
that? I mean, come on. Donner set the bar. Donner gives you the roadmap to follow.
Yeah,
Now,
agreed.
I think people predetermined because people were going in the theater as I was watching with super, excited faces. Like, I think people already made up their mind before seeing the movie, whether it was good or bad. So the
Mhm.
Rotten Tomatoes score, no shock.
Well, we certainly did. I mean, we did that admittedly because of what we saw, of what
Right.
we were seeing in all the
And
trailers.
think about the whole opening sequence we saw with
Mhm.
Crypto, right? Which
Right.
was even more annoying when you get into the film and see how much he's in it.
Mhm.
We saw the ending sequence with the lasers shooting out of his eyes. We saw every major plot point. The Godzilla. I mean, like nothing came on the screen. I was like, "Whoa, I didn't see that coming."
Can you even count on 2 hands, uh, or you'd be hard pressed to count on only 2 hands, I should say, the amount of superfluous characters in this film. Mike, what in God's name was Beck Bennett doing in this film? You tell me that. You
He
t
was
tell
taking time away from Perry White because he
Oh
had
my
no I
god.
don't know that character. I don't know if it's a comic character. He had no business in the movie.
No.
Jimmy Olsen got a little too much screen time, but
Right.
at least I know Jimmy Olsen.
Right,
Perry
and
White, I know.
but this whole, Jimmy Olsen storyline that he's some player, he's got all
Right.
like, come on,
Like he's
man.
he's making it with Lex Luthor's girlfriend, hence he gets all the secrets.
And
Come
that's
on.
Skiles Gisondo. I'm not sure if you're a fan of that actor or not. He's been in many, many things, but, yeah, Jimmy Superfly Olsen, they should call him. I mean, it was so ridiculous. But
Dude, Hawk Girl, uh,
okay,
I
come
mean,
on with the
it's
Hawk
not
Girl.
Wolverine. It's nothing like Wolverine. I wouldn't confuse that character with Wolverine ever.
Well, it isn't even that. It's Hawkeye.
Right.
It's Hawkeye, Hawkgirl. It's
Hawk
Hawkgirl.
Girl, and she looks like Wolverine.
And it was just ridiculous. Nathan Fillion was just embarrassingly
And
bad,
and we talked about the haircut, right? That's gotten all sorts of talk.
and it's terrible. It
And
doesn't
it's so
help.
bad that they have to reference it in the film where Lois says, "You might wanna think about the haircut." Oh, 368 chicks dig it.
Right,
If they're
right.
referencing it, they know it's bad.
Now, here's what I didn't okay, now it's oh my god, this movie. So the opening, I was kind of digging it, right? But I've seen the entire sequence.
Right.
I saw the
That
whole opening, which
interview.
was one of the best things in the film, was that opening for me. And, it's
Wait, are you
so
talking about
ironic.
Crypto or the interview?
The crypto,
Okay, yeah.
the whole
We
opening
saw the whole
sequence.
thing.
We did. And it was still again, the best thing in the film for me. And also, ironically, that was probably the character that I enjoyed the most was this little guy, Crypto.
And
He
I
was
couldn't get
cute.
on board with
He
that.
was cute.
And then we find out at the end it's not even his dog, right? It's, spoiler, you
Spoiler
know,
alert.
Supergirl's dog, and she's a lush, by the way. I
Okay.
guess, in the comics,
It
maybe she's a big drinker. I don't know.
and this is who you're going with for Supergirl now for whatever that spinoff is gonna look like? I mean, if that's what we're gonna get, that was embarrassed. That
Well,
was
to use Nathan
cringeworthy.
Fillion's language, this is the Justice Gang, right? He kept
Th
trying to come up with a name.
Then that wasn't any shot at Zack Snyder's universe, of course, right? No
It's
shot
gonna
at the
be
Man of
called the
Steel,
Justice League. Even I know that from
but
the
that's just
comics.
James Gunn's ego, that
Yeah.
he can't allow the phrase Justice League to be
Well,
spoken.
don't you think he's gonna switch to that?
No, I don't. I think it's gonna be the Justice Gang.
But this was the worst like,
It is.
put Wonder Woman, not Hawk Girl. Put in,
Right.
somebody else,
No,
not Mr. Terrific.
they set up this whole thing. Well, it's by the way, Mr. Terrific. So when they're anytime a character has like superpowers when it comes to computers, you know anybody that types like this?
Yeah,
That just types like this?
yeah.
Anybody? Okay. So they set up this whole thing in the beginning about metahumans, right? And Superman being the most powerful metahuman to ever exist. And then we get a sequence where he flinches and gets hurt by a Dixie cup being thrown at his
He
head.
gets his ass kicked at least 3 or 4 times during the film.
He does.
I mean, this is the weakest Superman, and then when the guy, I
This is
forget,
a weak ass Superman.
he was a weak ass Superman, and when the guy who's holding him prisoner with the kryptonite, when he douses the kryptonite,
Mhm.
all of a sudden Superman needs the yellow glow of the sun for his power.
Mhm.
So what, is Superman taking nights off now?
I guess. I don't
I
know.
mean,
He needs a portable tanning bed with him at all
what the hell
times.
was that? Like, he had to create a sun for
Mhm.
Superman to forget wiping out the kryptonite. I mean,
Look
we've
at
seen Superman weak before, but we've never seen him get his ass kicked by multiple characters,
well, you know what's
including
it
a dog.
see, here's another thing I feel, and I'm reading into it, I'm sure, because clearly I'm critical of the film and not a big fan. But I felt like this was another shot by James Gunn. This is Gunn's ego again, because in the beginning, it's like 3 billion years ago, 3 weeks ago, 3 days ago, 3 hours ago,
Right.
right? They're setting up this whole sequence. And at one point it says, or the last thing I think it says is Superman just lost a fight for the first time ever, right? Okay,
To the
can we
guy
flash
with
back
the,
to the Donner?
axe.
Yeah, can we flash back to the Donner Superman
Mhm.
when he goes into the diner and gets his ass handed to him by that
Right.
guy in the diner? Comes back later at the end of the film and gives the guy the what for, but
Right, and that was when
you break.
Superman made the conscious decision to go to the fortress of in reverse to make himself a normal human so he could live with
Right,
Lois.
right, right,
That's
right.
what set I mean, that was storytelling.
But look
There's
at
none
how
of that here.
he's pretty happy with himself here in this photo by all accounts.
Well,
With
when they reported that the break even number was 700,000,000,
mhm,
he doth protest a little too much. If
mm,
Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning is $1 billion break even point, this gotta be higher
mhm.
because of all the advertising. I know the film had a 250,000,000 budget, but
Gotta
the
be.
advertising was triple that.
Yeah, gotta be. And then we've got oh geez, he was doing fine. We loved
Alan
him.
Tudyk,
We loved Alan Tudyk as K2SO and Rogue One, and then of course the Andor series, which we just, wrapped up. And here he is as Gary, folks. It's Gary the robot.
just
I got nothing else to say.
no, I have
Gary
no
the
comment.
robot.
I
You
don't
know,
wanna keep yelling
I
because that's all
don't
I've been doing this whole review.
exactly. And you already came into this in a foul mood, let's be
And
honest.
yeah, and dude, what about the sequence? Okay,
See,
there's a scene.
when you say dude, I know you're taking it to a whole nother level at that
Well,
point. You're like,
let's
forget my on-air persona. I'm just talking to you now about
yeah.
this film.
When the sequence where Lois Lane gets behind the wheel of a spaceship that's used by Mr. Terrific. Don't worry, it's intuitive, Lois. She instantly does a nosedive, but pulls up dramatically and is flying Mr. Terrific's spaceship.
Yes.
How goofy.
Come on.
Not only that, but people were making fun of the face when
Uh-huh.
Superman's flying.
Right.
Apparently, James Gunn wants it to be aerodynamically correct, so it's, like, all puffy.
Right, right,
It
right,
looks goofy.
right.
It just looks stupid. I mean,
It
Christopher Reeve flew around, his face doesn't bloat up
and he leaned into that quite a bit. He
a
leaned in
lot,
that was kind of the go-to shot
and
in
people
terms of
were ragging on it
no.
ahead of time. You would have thought, because they did reshoots, and again, like Captain America, Brave New World, when reshoots are going on, that means test audiences are saying that sucks.
The CGI wasn't even good, and it was overly used. I mean, you would expect it in a film like this, of course, but
Well,
it was overly used by a mile. And so here's a shot of Mr. Terrific here with Mike. What? Not circles, not his circles, but
no,
his T spheres.
T spheres.
His T spheres, folks.
And why isn't there a vessel with a T sphere?
Where's the T sphere
What is a
vessel?
T sphere?
We want the CCV T sphere vessel, folks, and we want it
That'll be in the
now.
Justice Gang.
That'll be in the Justice Gang. Yeah. So it just, I can't say any again. I thought Crypto was cute, and that's all I can tell. And Mike, Christopher Reeve's son has a brief cameo in the
I
film.
heard that.
Will Reeve is in the thing.
Didn't know it, or I didn't see it at the time.
Here's an
I
interesting thing. So I'm listening to an interview with James Gunn on the DC like Showcase Studios or DC Studios podcast, whatever it is. And yeah, it's a bunch of yes people, of course, around the guy because he's he's the head guy now. And at one point, they're talking about the making of the film, and he's saying, there's always this conflict when you're, between what is best for the studio, and that might not always be what's best, as he put it, for his ego as the director. And
right.
he's like, I care a little bit more now because I'm the studio head. Okay, so you didn't give a crap before, and
When
it
you were
doesn't seem
just a
like
director.
when you were just a director. Yeah, I
And
don't.
obviously this is gonna make money, right?
Oh yeah.
So he's free and clear for a
Hmm.
while.
Yeah.
And there's a deleted scene that had a Batman in it, and it
Hmm.
looked nothing like Robert Pattinson. You can find that online.
Yeah.
But he's the guy with the best IP in IP history of superheroes for what? At least 3 films, because he's got a tank at least once. This should have
Gotta be.
tanked,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
and I don't think we're gonna change anybody's mind.
Oh no, no,
I
and
expect to get comments, "This
and I
was the
was
greatest Superman ever."
and I was it's talking about this with my girlfriend at the theater, and she felt the exact same way. The exact way. And she even said, "This is the biggest piece of shit." That's a quote.
Wow.
That's a quote. So that when she said that, I said, "Okay." But I have to say, because I said to her, these popcorn eaters, and I want to be them. I want to like the film, but I don't because it's terrible for all the
Yeah,
reasons I stated in the beginning.
and, there was a lot of talk about wokeness and, this being an attack on Trump.
I
That
didn't get
was
that.
that was nothing.
I didn't get that at all.
Yeah, he mentions he's an immigrant, which we see in the trailer.
Yeah, I didn't get that at all. Never
So I
crossed
didn't
my
get
mind.
that. Me either. And somebody actually asked me, was it too woke for you? And I said,
Nah, didn't bother me at all.
I
Didn't bother me at
didn't
all.
feel political, although I
No.
think James Gunn is kind of saying it is.
Well, okay.
And he's
But
trying to say, oh, this is a good Superman. This is like, I didn't get that either.
can I get your comments on this character? Does anything on the engineer here?
I don't even know who the hell that is.
Just another
I saw she throws saws. That's all I
just
know.
just another bad performance, another bad character. So
Again, part of the Justice Gang, I guess.
the Justice Gang, that's right. You got to love the haircut, folks. Now, we should say, as we always like to do, if you like the film, if you're one of these 93%,
Right,
we want to hear from you. We want to
right,
know why.
right.
We already know we're going to get a lot of comments from
Oh,
folks, which
yeah.
is great. We love it. And we're not looking to pick a fight. But
I
we
gotta
want to
tell you,
hear.
Dan,
Yeah.
and this is my last thing is, Spaceballs, right? The recent
Mm,
trailer for Spaceballs 2, which is just a scroll, which is quite funny, actually,
mhm,
and
mhm.
Mel Brooks is reprising his
Yeah.
role in it.
Right.
I happen to in that scroll, right, it lists all these movies, list the prequel, the trequel, the threequel, the sequel. It
Right.
also says DCU 1, DCU 2, DCU. Again, ahead of its time.
Yeah.
The original I wind up watching last night because I was just in a mood.
How's it hold up?
It holds up unbelievably. There's a sequence in it where Yoda goes to the gift shop at the movies, and I'm listening to the commentary.
You mean
And Mel
yogurt?
Brooks,
Yeah.
yeah, Mel Brooks is saying, I found this idea really funny and fascinating that the merchandise would actually make more money than the film. And it was
Right.
like, Spaceballs, the t-shirt, Spaceballs, the poster, Spaceballs, the flame gun.
Right. Again, ahead of his time,
Way ahead of his
CCVs.
time.
The
Yep.
CCVs, that's where it's at. Who would have thought that merchandising would
Yep.
be the thing coming out of the theater, the
That's gonna
box
save the
office?
theaters.
Yeah, and
Forget the movies.
how much was that newspaper stand, Superman popcorn vessel?
I think it was 73 without tax.
Mhm.
And again, they give you the popcorn on the side. So
Yeah.
people and one last thing, for the annoyance factor, right? Guy sits in front of me, puts his vessel on the seat next to him. Well, somebody had the seat.
Right.
So he had to move it to the floor. I think he was annoyed. At one point, he's eating the popcorn. He starts doing one of these. I'm not even kidding you, dude. In front of me.
Did you
He's
just catch
throwing
that, by the way? That
No,
was
I, like, hit my head.
oh, geez, okay.
But he's throwing the popcorn and catching it in his mouth, and if I had a vessel, I would have clunked him over the head with it.
I'm glad you said that because I looked around, by the way, I really don't think there were any vessels at this location. I did see, like, a Superman bucket. I don't know if that was just I think it was just a regular kind of bucket of
Yeah.
popcorn. But there was a woman in front of us. I look over at one point, she's scrolling on Instagram. And then there was a couple, I'm not kidding, I'm not just saying this to be inflammatory, a couple walking out about midway through, just left,
Wow.
never came
Good for
back,
them.
never came back. I said that. I said, "You know what? More power to you."
Well, I did see people go in because they had the vessels like in a pyramid. So you
Mm,
walk in, you grab the thing. Now, the AMC I've been going to for the last 8 years,
yeah,
right? They have 2 cash registers. I've never seen more than 1 cash register open. They
right.
now have 4, and there was a line at all 4 with people buying these ridiculous popcorn things. I saw people take the vessel and leave. They
Yeah.
didn't even stay for the movie.
Wow. Well, they maybe they already saw it. Now, this
Well, I
I
was at the
just
first showing,
oh, that's true. That's
very
true. That
first
you were at the
showing, and
previews.
people are leaving.
I just can't see
Maybe to go
people
to
going
Regal.
going to see this 2, 3, 4, 5 times. This doesn't seem
And,
to be one of those films for me.
you know, I have all the Superman films. I have the
Yeah.
TV show. I have the Man of Steel, everything. I don't see me breaking down like I didn't for Wicked. I don't see me putting this behind me.
What if Criterion Collection Superman with a CCV thrown in?
Never
That
happened.
never happened,
It'll
okay.
never happen. If it did, I'll go on record and say I'll buy it,
You
but
know,
it'll never happen.
it's crazy. We talked about superfluous characters, right? And on my note sheet here, over here, you can see this is all just the prominent cast that I listed that's credited. I mean, it's the longest cast list I've ever seen, which
Yeah.
of course included one of James Gunn's brothers, which is nothing new. I mean,
Right, Michael Rooker was one of the robots.
that's right. He was
We
like
knew
number
that was
5
coming.
or something. That's true. That's right. That's a good call. So the budget, again, it's estimated to be somewhere around 225 million. Domestically, as of right now, it's done about 122 and about 217 worldwide. So we'll see where those numbers are in the next week. That would be
Yeah.
very interesting. But
I still predict a billion.
I don't know. You know
I
what?
mean,
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say it's gonna fall short.
Avatar Way of Water did a
Yeah.
billion. And if that isn't a piece of garbage,
It's better than
and there's
this.
another one coming out
It was
this
better than
year.
this. It was better than this. I'm sorry, but it was better
Well,
than this.
I don't know. If you put me like if you gave me 3 choices, Avatar 2, the new Superman,
Right.
Root Canal, give me the Root Canal.
Give me the root canal all day. Mike, this was me leaving the theater. This was me leaving the theater.
Yeah, And
That's how I
again,
felt. I was angry.
I think we're gonna be in the minority. I think
Now,
people
in reality, Mike, this was me leaving the theater.
Yep,
That's what
giving
I
the
thought of the
bird
film,
to the
folks.
Man of Steel. Never
That's
thought
what I
it
thought.
would happen.
Well, there was this whole sequence where, Green Lantern can whip up the shape of whatever and beat someone's ass with it.
Right.
And at one point, there's like this green goof middle finger that comes up.
Yep.
It's just the silliness of stuff like that. The characters that were in the Luther Corps that worked for him, the one guy that apparently couldn't make it in the porn industry with that mustache. I mean, it was like ridiculous. It was
You
so
know, I got
ridiculous,
a
folks.
confession to make, Dan. I've never
Ah,
told you
jeez.
this. I've never said
Yeah.
it on the show.
That you were in the porn industry?
No,
I had a
well,
feeling.
that's another show. I'm actually an official Metacritic, but I have
Uh,
not written a review since we started this podcast. I was tempted to write one.
until now.
Yeah, I was tempted, but
You're
I
gonna
doubt
have
it.
to. You're gonna have to. Well, that's all I have to say, and I think that's clearly enough. Is there
Yeah,
anything that you wanna
plenty.
add to this discussion? I think we should get our CCVs and get the hell out of here.
And
Uh,
again,
yeah.
for in fact, during the episode, the price dropped to 39.99. Quality paper,
Wow. Almost $20 discount there during the show.
quality paper,
Very nice. The
Orville Redenbacher, throw it away, pop it when you want.
Orville Tessmacher. It's the Oh Brother popcorn vessel, and also don't forget about the Oh Brother website. You can go out to the Oh Brother website, OHB as in brotherpodcast.com, and you can get access to all of the audio podcasts. You can get access to the YouTube channel there. Of course, we'd appreciate it if you like and subscribe. I'm not sure how that's going to go for the Superman lovers after they hear this episode and watch this episode. But listen, if there's one thing that the Oh Brother podcast has said from day one, we're not going to come on here and BS. We're going to tell you what we think. And
Right.
but kind of circling back to the beginning where you said I didn't hate it as much as you. Again, this is another one of Mike's great, right? Where it's like, what is it? I didn't hate it, Mike says.
Yeah.
But
But
you said that you did. So what were the redeeming things about it?
I don't know. There were times when they were playing it straight
Mhm.
that I was okay with it.
Mm.
But that was, as we went through it and I started pointing out some of the goofiness, I think it lowered in my mind as this conversation went on. Like
Yeah,
I had it hovering around a 6 or a 5.5. But again, that would mean I would say, "Well, go see it." And I'm not gonna tell anybody to go see it
I'm not. No.
unless you have this preconceived thing and you know, look at I've got
Yeah,
graphic novels of the comics.
sure.
I this was stupid. This was
Yeah.
goofy. This was silly.
And listen,
Doesn't belong in the same breath with Richard Donner.
Superman has always been my number one superhero. I mean, I have a photo of me in the backyard when I was like 4 or 5 years old in full Superman regalia, legitimate costume that was custom made for me. But this was just such a disappointment, and it's hard to, look, I really did go in there with an open mind. I wanted to like it. I did, but it was so bad from the beginning, from the onset. I just
Well,
couldn't. I
I
couldn't
I think the first 10 minutes
kid
with the
myself.
crypto in the interview, longer than 10 minutes, we already saw.
Right.
So, right off the bat, my first impression is, "Okay, when is something new gonna come on?"
Yeah, I
And it
just
never
didn't.
did.
Yeah, I didn't
Other
like that.
Luther being in it
Mhm.
way more than he should have.
Yeah, I didn't. It's like Bradley Cooper. Wow, like
Wow, that was just
absolute
goofy.
the worst Jarrell we've ever
I
had.
mean, think about Marlon Brando and now Bradley Cooper. Good
But
lord.
but Ma Kent. takes the cake.
That was the worst
That
ridiculous character.
that's insulting to me as an audience member. And again, this is a James Gunn film, folks. So if you love James
Right.
Gunn, then you're gonna love this film.
You might love the silliness,
You might
but,
like the
you know,
silliness.
Superman, it's okay to be light. Every single Superman has light moments in it.
Absolutely it
Every
does.
single one. This
Absolutely.
is just a gaffe. The
Yes,
whole
that's right.
thing was just a big joke.
It was a big joke. That's a great way to put it. Yeah, yeah. All right, well, let's don the capes and get the hell on out of here. But don't forget to drop some comments on the video and let us know your thoughts, whether you liked it or not. You know,
Don't
if
hit
you
us with the comic stuff.
yeah, the comic stuff again. At the beginning of it, already prefaced it, said we don't care. So come at us with some other angle.
And Dan, I'm still looking forward to November with Peacekeeper season 2.
As am
Peacemaker.
I.
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker, as am I.
Yeah.
But even that cameo in this film was terrible. It was
Yeah.
stupid. I mean, it was 2 seconds,
Yeah,
but
it
it was
didn't really
stupid.
make sense. It
It
didn't
just was
fit.
it was unnecessary. It
Yeah,
was
let's put it in
unnecessary.
there to put it in there.
That's right. Well, there you go. It's the one and only Oh Brother podcast review of James Gunn's
You're not gonna get
Superman.
another take like this.
You're not gonna get as honest a take as this, and
Nope.
that's a guarantee from the Oh Brother podcast. That's gonna do it for another episode of the Oh Brother podcast. I'm your host, Dan Smith. Alongside me, as always, my brother from the same mother, Mike Smith, and we will see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
You gotta send me one of those popcorn vessels.
Yeah, oh yeah.